Welcome to the grammar of 104, Surat Al-Humazah, 9 verses, and this is verse 1. Wailun likulli humazatin lumazatin. Let's begin the sentence sparsing. Oh, before that, let's read the meaning, the literal meaning. Woe to every backbiter, slanderer. Let's sparse this sentence. Wailun. Wailun is a noun which is at the start of a sentence. A noun which is at the start of a sentence, when it is definite, it is the subject of nominal. But in this case, it doesn't look like definite, but it has become a common expression in Arabic. Therefore, it sort of takes on a definite form. Therefore, we can say that this is subject of nominal. Okay, so this is subject of nominal. The next one is li, particle. Therefore, it's a particle of preposition. This is quite common. Kulli. So you have kulli with a kasra there, object of preposition, and then humazatin. Okay, humazatin. Now this is a bit tricky, but you just look at noun plus noun. So noun plus noun, no al, no tanween, there's a kasra there, therefore it's possessive. And then you have lumazatin. As you can see, humazatin and lumazatin has the same ending, and then noun plus noun, and it is non-definite in front. Most probably this is a follower adjective or follower elaboration, and we are done. Okay, so let's see the force. Okay, the force would be the preposition would drag the object of preposition, and this noun drags the possessive, that's why it has a kasra, and this follower follows the noun before it. And then you have something here, wailun, which is a subject of nominal. The subject of nominal pushes its predicate of nominal. You don't see any of that, therefore you assume 1. Okay, so you assume there is a predicate of nominal here. Okay, so I'll just write a P here, predicate of nominal, which is here, and therefore you have the translation as woe is to every slandering backbiter, because we flipped the sequence in terms of translation because of follower adjective. And then once you translate, the is, even the is omitted because of smoothing the translation. So it becomes woe to every backbiter, or woe to every slandering backbiter. Verse number 2. الذي جمع مالا وعدده. الذي means the one who. So the literal meaning of this verse is the one who amassed wealth, the one who he amassed wealth and he counted it as a safeguard. Alright, so alladhi is a relative pronoun. We'll do jama'a first. So jama'a is a verb. So jama'a is a verb, and every verb has a subject of verb. In this case, it is an implied he. So there's an SOV here, and the next one is OOV, just because of the fatha there. And then you have a particle of conjunction here, and then addada would be a verb that has a subject of verb implied, which is he, and then you have an it here, which is the object of verb. So in terms of force, you have a verb pushing the subject, lifting the object, same thing here, and then here, and then you have a conjunction. So what do you do with that? So you have a verbal structure that follows the verbal structure before it. Okay, and then you are left with alladhi. You are left with alladhi. Now alladhi is clarifying who this every backbiter and slanderer is. Okay, so basically when that happens, you call that a follower elaboration. So it elaborates, okay, meaning wise, it clarifies what is before it. Okay, therefore this arrow goes to the word kulli. Okay, so this is clarifying the word kulli, which is referring to the backbiter or the slandering backbiter. Alright, so now you see a gap here. You see a gap, you have to fill in the gap. Therefore, whenever you see a relative noun plus a verb, okay, you relate the subject of verb to the relative noun. That's why you have that relation. It simply means that alladhi is referring to the he here, and that's why you have that arrow. And when you translate this, the he is omitted because it's redundant. And in fact, if you translate this as a universal truth, so it becomes a universal tense, therefore you cancel the ed for the past tense. So the translation becomes the one who amasses wealth and counts it as a safeguard. That's it for verse number 2. Verse number 3, يحسب أن ماله أخلده. He reckons that his wealth made him immortal. Okay, let's begin. So يحسب, again, whenever you have a verb, you have a subject of verb has ov, which is the implied he here. When you have a standard noun, let's say this verse says يحسب الإنسان, so therefore al-insanu becomes the subject of verb. But when you don't have a standard noun, you imply the he there based on what you see here. There's a ya, right, which denotes third person. So يحسب anna is a particle of emphasis. Okay, emphasis, it also lift the noun after it. ماله أخلده. ماله أخلده. Okay, let's go to the verb first. Every verb has a subject of verb, right? And the implied subject of verb would be the it here. Which would be made redundant because it is referring to the wealth or his wealth. Okay, when translated, the it is omitted. Who is the object of verb? Because is the object of verb. Okay, so the force here, verb pushes and verb lifts the object of verb. The verb here pushes the subject of verb here. Now we are left with malahu. Okay, now whenever you see anna, what has to come in your mind is after anna, that is a nominal sentence. Okay, after anna there is always a nominal sentence, which means you have to find the subject of nominal and the predicate of nominal, which means as if after anna is a new sentence. So when you cover anna and when you read the sentence, which is malahu akhladahu, means his wealth made him immortal. Therefore you break that sentence into two, and you take the first part as a subject of verb, which is his wealth, and then made him immortal as the predicate of nominal. Okay, so let's do that. So made him immortal is a verbal structure which is the predicate of nominal. Okay, and therefore ma la here is the subject of nominal. So we like but this ma la who is basically two words, right? Ma la, wealth, who is his. Whenever you have a noun plus pronoun in this sense, okay, that second one is a is a possessive, and therefore the force is the force is that this noun pushes the possessive, or drags the possessive, and that's why you have that arrow. And then because there's a gap here, right, there's still a gap here where you don't have an arrow. So what you do is this: the subject of noun pushes the predicate here, and then you have a connected arrow. Now there is still gaps, right? There are still gaps. So when you see anna again, so when you see anna, there's a nominal sentence after it, and when you see anna, what it does is that it lifts the noun after it. That's why you see a fatha here. Okay, and now what else? Okay, there's a gap here between yahsabu and anna. There's a gap there, no arrow. So what you do is this: you find what's missing. You see a verb, it means reckons or things. Okay, so when you think of something, that something becomes the object of verb. Okay, so in this case what you do is, okay, this is quite fun. So you find the object of verb. So he thinks that his wealth made him immortal. So you take everything else. So I think of you. So what comes after things, which is you or of you, becomes the object of verb. In this case, he reckons or he thinks that his wealth is immortal. So you take everything that his wealth is immortal. Okay, all of this, which is the anna structure. Let's call this the anna structure. All of this becomes the what do you call it? The object of verb for yahsabu. And there you have it. Next verse. So the meaning is, he reckons that his wealth made him immortal, or you can change to make him immortal, to make this a universal truth. Okay, to make this declarative verb instead of past tense verb. Now verse number 4. كلا لينبذن في الحطمة. It means nay, he would be thrown certainly into the crusher. Okay, so let's begin. Kalla is called a particle of aversion. Okay, aversion. I'm not sure why it's called that, but yeah, that's what it's called. So nay, basically kalla means basically nay, not at all. It's like negating the previous statement, because la is negation, right? So kalla is like double negation, something like that, a strong negation. Okay, so la is an emphasis, which means would. Okay, in Malay pasti. Now yumbadhanna is the verb. Okay, as usual, a verb would have a subject of verb, which is an implied he. Okay, notice here is you are. When you see you are or u are, it means the tense is the verb is passive. Okay, in this case present passive, as you see there's a ya is present. Fi would be a preposition, and then this one hutama would be object of preposition. Okay, let's go to the force. Okay, you have force here, preposition drags, and then this is the pp prepositional phrase. The linking verb goes back to yumbadhanna. Again, the verb pushes the subject of verb. Okay, in this case we don't really call it subject of verb because it's passive, right? But we call it just for convenience. Okay, so the la is a watcher, so a watcher, and kalla is also a watcher, so we don't really need to put an arrow, but if you want to put an arrow, it becomes like this. Okay, and then we are all connected. So the meaning is nay, he would certainly be thrown into the crusher. Okay, so verse number 5. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الْحُطَمَةُ. Okay, every time in the Quran they say وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ. Wama adraka, it means literally means what made you know, like what tells you that this is the crusher. Okay, in other words, it says, let me tell you. Let me tell you. It's quite an archaic, people don't really use this expression anymore. So let's see. Okay, so let's see. Wa would be a particle of let's call it starter particle. Okay, particle of resumption. Yeah, just remember resumption. It means it resumes the previous sentence, and it doesn't have a meaning in the sense that it doesn't have a meaning. It just functions as saying that it's the beginning of a sentence and it's related to the previous. Okay, so ma is an interrogative particle, pronoun, interrogative pronoun. So in this case, because it's a beginning of a sentence, it's a noun, therefore we say it's a subject of nominal. Okay, subject of nominal. Now you have a verb here, a verb as usual, verb, and then you have a subject of verb, which is the it here, which will disappear after translation. And then you have the object of verb. Okay, every time you see a verb, you try to find verbs, VSO, verb, subject, object. Okay, sometimes it's just VS, but make it a habit to just go V. We see V, find the SO. Okay, so now it's this sentence is just one sentence, but it helps if you cut this into two. Okay, and then ma would be an interrogative pronoun, beginning of the sentence, therefore it's subject of nominal, and subject nominal needs a predicate of nominal, which is the noun after it. Okay, so let's the force. Okay, the subject nominal pushes the predicate of nominal, and in this case you have what, the crusher, right? So whenever you have this, what is what, so you add an is. So what is the crusher, and you are done with that sentence. Let's go to the first part of this verse. Wama adraka. So you have, oh sorry, this should be subject of nominal. Okay, so it should be n. Yeah, so subject of nominal. Let's go to the force. Okay, to the force. So you have verb, subject, object, right? Verb, subject, object. So you have this verbal structure, VS, and then you have a subject of nominal without a predicate of nominal. So so we say that what makes you know. So in this case, this one becomes a predicate of nominal, as in what is the as if you're saying that the subject of nominal is what, and then the predicate of nominal is that the thing that made you know. So what is the thing that made you know? Like you assume an is, right? What is the thing that make you know? Okay, if this is not too clear, you can just ask me, and then I'll try to make it clearer in another video. Verse 6, Narullahi al-Muqadatu. So when you read you try to notice the endings. Narullahi al-Muqadatu. So when you see ui, okay, most probably it's a possessive structure, right? So a possessive structure, and then this noun, and then muqadatu. How so you see some imbalance here, right? So what can al-muqadah be in terms of function, right? So you just look at the meaning. What is it doing? The meaning, it's clarifying. This al-muqadah is clarifying the word nar, right? So fire of God, you add an of because it's possessive, right? So fire of God, that which is kindled. That which is kindled is describing the fire. Therefore, describing, remember, adjective, okay? So therefore, you put this as a follower, okay? Now follower usually follows the ending, okay, the ending here, the vowel ending, and it also follows in terms of definiteness. Al-Muqadda is definite, but is nar definite? Nar by itself is not definite, but when it is a part of a possessive, and because what comes after it is a Allah which is definite, therefore nar becomes definite, and therefore nar is not just fire but fire of Allah. Therefore in that case al-muqada can be the follower of nar. And now we are left with nar without a function. Okay, let's go to the force first. This noun drags it to become a possessive, and then this al-muqada follows nar. But then what's the function of nar? Now nar in the beginning of sentence is a noun, right? So it should be subject or nominal. In principle it should be like that, right? But in this case you see the meaning. So you look at the meaning after it. وَمَا أَدْرَكَ مَا الْحُطَمَةُ. What is the hutama? What is the crusher? So this is an answer to the previous sentence. Therefore the meaning would be like this: the crusher is the fire of God which is kindled, or God's fire. So the crusher is the fire. We put the because it's definite, because Allah comes after it. So the crusher is the fire. So remember, the crusher is the fire. What is what? Therefore the crusher here becomes the implied word of before nar, which is the subject of nominal. Okay, you don't see it because we are just implying from the question before this verse, and therefore nar becomes the predicate of nominal. See that? So this is fun when you try to make it fun. Okay, you relate the meanings, you relate from the vowel endings, you relate from anything you can see and you can imply. Okay, verse number 7, التي تطلع على الأفئدة. That which, التي means the one who, or that which, in this case that which because it refers to the nar, to the fire. So that which rises over, or that which penetrates the hearts. Okay, now التي, okay, let's do verb first. Okay, so we have a verb, and then you have an it here actually, which is the subject of verb, okay, implied, but it's going to be cancelled because it's referring to التي. Okay, so ala would be particle of preposition. This will be object of preposition. Force wise it's like this, and then like this also, and then you have a pp. So the linking verb for the prepositional phrase will be tattali'u. Not here, sorry, it's here. Okay, so and then you have allati. As usual, allati, alladhi, this relative pronoun, you have to put some thinking cap, okay, for the function. So it is describing, clarifying what is the nar before it. Therefore you put it as a follower, adjective or follower, elaboration. It just, anything works as long as you put it as a follower, which means as a follower, so the arrow goes back to nar, and then you have a gap here. As usual, I said this repeatedly, when you see a relative pronoun and when you see a verb, okay, it means there is usually subject of verb here that relates, therefore vs here, that relates to the relative noun, and then all the dots are connected, and the meaning becomes that which rises over the heart. Verse number 8, إنها عليهم مؤصدة. إنها, truly it, referring to the nar, the fire, it on them, closed in. Okay, those are the literal meanings, after which we will adapt the meaning, adjust the meanings. Okay, inna. Okay, this is a bit tricky. You have inna, right? So you remember I said before this, whenever you see inna, before this anna, right? So inna and anna has the same grammatical grammatical process which is tied to it. So whenever we see inna, there is a nominal structure after it. There's a nominal structure after it, which means there is a subject of nominal and predicate of nominal. So in this case, you regard as if whatever that comes after inna is a nominal sentence. It's a new sentence. Okay, so you look at it as a new sentence and you break it into two. Okay, so you read the new sentence. Okay, let's read the new sentence. And of course, a nominal structure when you have a noun and a noun after it. So this is a pronoun, which is a noun, but the noun after it does not need to come right after it. So you just see. So you have a pronoun and a noun there. So this is subject of. So straight away when you find that this is a prepositional phrase, so you don't really look at that now. A nominal structure just needs a noun and that noun can be a pronoun. So in this case, the first noun, automatically you put it as a subject of nominal, even apa tu? Okay, I forgot what I want to say. So let's go to the next one. This becomes the predicate of nominal. So remember, noun plus noun is what is what. So you have to assume an is here. You have to assume an is here. So it becomes it is closed in. It is closing in. So the full meaning will be it is that which is closing in, that which is closed in, but you don't say that which is this. That which is just is the connotation of a passive noun, F4 here. Okay, what's the point? The point is the grammatical functions. When you see inna, you find a noun plus noun and put the functions, subject of noun, predicate of noun, and you put an is, you imply an is if necessary, and you're good. And then you have ala, particle of preposition, and an object of preposition right after it, and the force would be like this, right? Now the force in terms of subject of nominal and predicate of nominal, it's like this. Good. And then what? And then you have a gap. Okay, before ala. So ala is a prepositional phrase. Then the gap you link to the verbal linking verb up before it, which is, and then one last one, which is the particle of emphasis here. Okay, remember anna lifts the noun after it, therefore we just put an arrow to the noun after it, which is the subject of nominal. So you're done. Okay, and the meaning will be truly it is closing in on them. The fire is closing in on them. Finally, verse number 9. في عمد ممددة. In columns that which are extended. That is the literal meaning. Okay. Now, let's go. As you can see here, I'm starting to put the morphological elements. Like amadin is the broken plural of imad with the pattern of fa'al. Mumaddadatun is an F2 passive noun because of the shadda. Mufa'al because of the pattern mufa'al. Okay, so I'm putting this, but I'm not explaining this. But yeah, because this is grammatical analysis, just a grammatical analysis. But those would help you in terms of meaning. Okay, so now let's go to the functions. Fi is a preposition, particle of preposition. Whatever comes after it is OOP, and then can you see that this is the same, right? So whenever you see this structure, noun plus noun, having the same alignment back and front, therefore it's a follower. In this case, it's a follower adjective. And force wise it means it follows what is before it, and then the preposition here drags here. So this is a prepositional phrase, right? So you have to find a linking verb. So what's the verse before this? نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة. نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة في عمد ممددة. So I'm not sure what is the linking verb here. Well, maybe you can just find it out yourself, okay, and then maybe you can just give me a comment on that. So we are done with the sparsing of 104. I hope you have benefited a lot from this process. As you can see, I have this took quite long actually, in terms of typing out the meanings and the, you know, all the words on top of the Arabic text and so on. It takes quite a lot of work here, so I hope you really have benefited. And let's translate one last time before we end this. Woe to every slandering backbiter who amasses wealth and counts it as a safeguard. He thinks that his wealth would make him immortal. Nay, not at all. He would be thrown into the crusher. And what would tell you, what would make you know what the crusher is? It is a God's fire. It is God's fire that is kindled, that penetrates or rises over the hearts. It is closing in on them. It closes in on them in columns that are extended, or in extended columns. Basically, this is just a metaphor of the extremity of the fire, or the extremity of the suffering. Okay, so thank you so much. See you in the next video.